I want to talk about something that is uber counterintuitive, yet works. I want to talk about scheduling your spontaneous time. I know, right? Completely weird to hear. You'd think, spontaneous, be spontaneous. But here's the thing, we all run busy lives, busy businesses. There's always 17 more things to do that are more important from one to the other. At the end of the day, do you know the phrase that my wife, Margarita, and I were both owners of Leap Strategies? And what we tell each other the most at the end of the day is, I just have these two things to finish. I just need to finish this. It just leaves me a few things to. The thing is, we are accountable, we are responsible, and our clients uber matters to us, much like you. You have things to do, things to finalize, things to start before the next day. And at the end of all of this, what happens is we're more responsible and accountable than spontaneous. Then we get down on ourselves because we're not spontaneous, and it just snowballs from there, right? So the thing to do is, if you schedule a block of time that you don't know what you're going to do, whatever you're going to do in that block of time, completely up to you and can be completely spontaneous. But if you don't block time that are dedicated for you to do what the hell you want, there's always going to be something else, someone else, and something else that really matters most than you taking time for yourself to be spontaneous. And Margarita and I talk about that in our TED Talk called How to Increase Your Units of Happiness. Literally, we've learned tremendously from our business, from our employees, from our clients. And we've learned that there's a few strategies that completely work for business, and that if you carry them out in your personal life, they work wonders as well. So that's what we talk about in that TED Talk. And one of the things that we talk about is scheduling spontaneous time, which again, it sounds ridiculous. And every time we say this out loud with people, they laugh, right? Because they're like, well, it's not spontaneous if you have to schedule it. But what they're missing is that we're reserving a block of time to be spontaneous. And these blocks of times are scheduled in our calendar forever and ever. We know there's a bit of a rhythm to it. Sometimes we need to change the block of time to another time. However, we know that in that block of time, we treat it like it was a client meeting. Would I not show up to a client meeting? No, you wouldn't do that either. A client meeting means it's important, means you're going to be there. So we book these in our calendars, Margarita and I, as if they were uber important client meetings. So we don't miss them. And then when we get to that block of time, we decide we're now spontaneous in that moment, right? So in that moment, we go, okay, what do you feel like doing? What do you want to do? And now we have the opportunity to be spontaneous because the time has actually been carved. So try this out. This will kind of bring spontaneity back into your life if you want more of it. And of course, it helps you create more freedom, this is what we want, right? As entrepreneurs, what we want is we want more freedom, right? We want to be in control of our time more. We don't have to punch in and punch out at a job, except that our level of accountability and our level of responsibility is so heightened, that of course, everybody else is more important than us. Everything else becomes more important than the things that we want to do. And so I say, put a stop to that. So do that. Go in your calendar right now. Just block a series of a couple of hours, an hour. It could be an hour. I like the blocks of time to be a little bit longer, because for an hour, if you're late a little bit to that block of time, it just makes it that it reduces, right? But if you have a good 3 hours, 2 hours, mind you, book whatever you can and whatever you want to start with. But I guarantee you, go in your calendar, book some blocks, color them purple, whatever the color of freedom is to you. And then when you get to that block of time, no matter what happens, treat it like you had a flight to catch, right? You wouldn't be late to a flight. You would actually be in advance. You would organize. So do that. Treat those blocks of time like they were an important client or a flight you can't miss. And then when you get to that block, then you decide what you're going to do. And if you have ideas throughout the week that you want to throw into this block of time, this is what we do. As we go through the week, we're like, oh, it'd be fun to do that. It'd be fun to do that. Because the last thing you want is to get to that block of time and then debate and have no idea what to do in that spontaneous block of time. And maybe part of deciding what you're going to be doing is part of that block of time. For me, I like to have some ideas there. And then, of course, if I don't feel like any of that, then I won't, right? I'll do something else. But the point is, if you want more spontaneity in your life, and it's not working just by being spontaneous, then try to block some times where you know that those blocks of times are dedicated to being spontaneous. And let me know how that works for you, because it has worked wonders for us, for me, for Margarita and I, and of course, for our clients as well. So give it a try. You will see, you will increase your fun, your sense of adventure, and you will feel like you have more joy, more flexibility, more spontaneity in your life. And that is priceless. Enjoy.